when you did work, under what name did you sail?
Dona Drake.
Oh, Dona.
Dona Drake captivated audiences in her unforgettable role as Mihirma in Road to Morocco. However, her real identity was a closely kept secret. Born as Eunice Westmoreland, she was actually a black woman who convinced the world that she had a Latin background. Her journey to stardom is a story of brutal ambition and a bunch of shocking deceptions. Watch this video as we dive into the dramatic life of Dona Drake, uncovering how she fooled everyone and the costs of her success. But before we uncover the hidden truths about Dona, we need to start with the beginnings that set her on this path. Early life and career. Dona Drake, originally named Eunice Westmoreland, was born on November 15, 1914, in Miami, Florida. She was one of 5 children born to Joseph Andrew Westmoreland Sr. and Novella Smith. From a young age, Dona showed a strong interest in performing, which would guide her future. She was meant for the spotlight, though her path to fame was far from typical. Dona started her show business career in the early 1930s, adopting the stage name Una Villon. Her early work included performing as a chorus girl and nightclub entertainer. By 1932, she was already winning over audiences with her talent. Dona's big break came when she impressed the famous producer Earl Carroll while performing at the Paradise Cabaret. Carroll, known for his magnificent musical reviews, immediately saw great potential in Dona and cast her in his next show, Murder at the Vanities. In Carroll's production, Dona was not just another performer in revealing costumes. Her skill in playing multiple instruments, including the piano and saxophone, distinguished her from others. Critics admired her musical abilities and noted that her stage movements were as precise as the conductor's timing. Dona's passion for performing shone brightly, and she quickly became a highlight in Carroll's review. Though the show eventually ended, Dona's career was just starting to take off. Hollywood. As the curtain came down on Murder at the Vanities, Dona continued to build her career in show business. She performed under several stage names, including Rita Rio and Rita Shaw. Her skills as a performer shone through, making her known for her ability to sing, dance, and play several instruments. In 1933, she appeared in Earl Carroll's Vanities, where her talent and youthful charm caught the attention of critics. Paul Harrison of the Indiana Gazette praised her as a promising newcomer, noting her singing, dancing, and resemblance to the famous Ann Pennington. Dona's performances continued to impress, and in 1934, she received more praise for her nightclub acts. Columnist Walter Winchell highlighted her unique ability to synchronize her dance moves with the music, even directing the orchestra with her rhythmic movements. This acclaim solidified her reputation as an exciting and engaging performer. By 1935, Dona started to adopt a new persona, taking on the name Rita Rio. She performed at the Paradise Cabaret on Broadway, where her talents continued to shine. Dona's acts went beyond singing and dancing. She also played the piano, trumpet, clarinet, saxophone, and drums. Her versatility and charm made her a favorite in the nightclub scene. In 1936, she even formed an orchestra with another woman, demonstrating her leadership and musical skills. Unfortunately, financial issues led to the group's breakup in 1940, pushing Dona to seek new opportunities in Hollywood. Her move to Hollywood marked a major change in her career. With the help of her friend Dorothy Lamour, a well-known actress, Dona landed a role in the film Aloma of the South Seas. Lamour, famous for her song and dance roles, thought Dona would be perfect for the part of an exotic woman. This role was crucial for Dona, as it not only displayed her acting talents, but also established her presence in Hollywood. When she got the part, Paramount Pictures quickly saw her potential and began promoting her as the next big star. To create a marketable image, they gave her the new name Dona Drake. The Latin-sounding first name paired with a more neutral last name was designed to create an exotic appeal while avoiding controversy. Dona's real background was hidden under a made-up Mexican background, with studio publicity falsely claiming she was born Rita Novella, using her mother's first name as her last name. The success of Aloma of the South Seas was both unexpected and impressive. The film became a hit and even received 2 Academy Award nominations. This success opened many doors for Dona, pushing her further into the spotlight. Her next role was in the comedy Louisiana Purchase, where she starred alongside the well-known Bob Hope. Hope's interest in Dona led to her being cast in his next film, Road to Morocco, part of the popular Road to series with Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour, her old friend. Despite being in such notable company, Dona grew frustrated with the limited roles she was offered, feeling she was merely a supporting player to Lamour and repetitively chasing after Bob Hope. She expressed her dissatisfaction by saying she couldn't build a screen career just by combing Lamour's hair or chasing Bob Hope in one picture after another. As Dona's popularity started to decline, Paramount Pictures, the studio that had once helped her rise, began to lose interest. They offered her a part in the low-budget film Hot Rhythm, which was seen as a final gesture of indifference. However, Dona showed resilience, and in 1948, she landed a major role in So This Is New York, a satirical comedy produced by Stanley Kramer, who would later be known for High Noon. Unfortunately, the film did not do well with critics or audiences. The negative response was harsh, with one audience member even suggesting it should be flushed away. Despite later praise from director Martin Scorsese, the immediate failure was a significant setback for Dona. Undeterred, Dona moved on to Beyond the Forest, which starred the famous Bette Davis and was directed by King Vidor. Although the film had potential, Davis disliked the script and was unhappy throughout the production, frequently trying to get out of her contract. This on-set trouble contributed to the film's poor performance, leaving Dona once again linked with a flop. Throughout her career, Dona was often cast in roles that reflected various ethnic backgrounds, such as Latina, Middle Eastern, Native American, and Gypsy characters. She is especially remembered for her role as the American Indian maid in Beyond the Forest, and as the Arab girl Mira in Road to Morocco. In 1944, she played a big band singer in the B-movie Hot Rhythm, sharing the screen with Irene Ryan, who later became famous as Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies. In 1949, Dona took on a non-ethnic, non-musical role in the comedy The Girl from Jones Beach, starring opposite Eddie Bracken. The year before, she had demonstrated her comedic skills as the gold-digging sister in So This Is New York, Harawari. Dona's versatility as an actress was clear, but she faced significant challenges in Hollywood. During World War II, Dona supported the military by doing pin-up work for Yank and the Army Weekly magazines. Her appeal was also recognized, albeit in a dubious way, when she received an award from a fraternity at Emory College in Georgia, naming her the girl they'd like to have in the back seat of a car without gas and no ration book. This questionable honor reflected the era's objectification of women, yet it also highlighted Dona's widespread recognition and allure dual identity journey. In the 1930s, America's segregation made black performers have limited chances. Dona's family understood this and moved from Jacksonville, Florida, to Philadelphia for better opportunities. In Philadelphia, Dona's parents noticed her amazing musical talent and beauty. Seeing their daughter's potential, her mother made a bold plan: move to New York City so Dona could try to become a singer. Even though racism was strong at the time, Dona and her mom teamed up with another performer, Renee Villon. They all moved to New York City, hoping for success. Dona and Renee created a sister act. This was a smart move because Dona's light skin and eyes made it easier for people to think she was white or Latina, helping them get more jobs. Their plan worked, and they started getting gigs while keeping Dona's racial background unclear. After doing well in the musical Murder at the Vanities, Dona faced a hard choice when Renee decided to quit show business to get married. Alone, Dona had to decide whether to reveal her true racial identity or keep up the lie that had helped her succeed. Dona chose to continue the lie to keep her career going. After performing in Strike Me Pink, Dona went back to New York City and got a job at a nightclub. Her talent and charm stood out, and when the club owner got sick, Dona took over as the MC and did a great job. She then had the idea to form an all-white orchestra with herself as the leader. To fit this image, Dona took the stage name Rita Rio, making people believe she was Latina. Dona worked hard to keep up this act. She learned Spanish and practiced speaking it well to play her role as Rita Rio convincingly. Her biggest moment came in the film Road to Morocco, where she kissed Bob Hope on screen. This was the first interracial kiss in a movie, although people thought Dona was Latina playing an Arab woman, when she was actually a black woman. This added a special twist to this historic moment. With a successful film under her belt, Dona was determined to become a leading lady in Hollywood. She continued to push boundaries and break societal limits, paving the way for an impressive and groundbreaking career. Gangsters, Forbidden Love. In the vibrant and risky nightclub world, Dona became involved in a scene where danger and desire were closely linked. It was here that she attracted the attention of Louis "Pretty" Amberg, a notorious Russian gangster known for his violent reputation. Amberg was infamous for his brutal temper and ruthless behavior, including a chilling incident where he threatened comedian Milton Berle with a fork. Despite the dangerous figures surrounding her, Dona remained unshaken. Recognizing her ability to charm any man, she boldly chose to pursue Amberg, drawn by his power and the excitement of the forbidden. Their passionate romance was marked by extravagant gifts and constant attention from Amberg, who lavished Dona with affection. Still, she stayed cautious, careful not to provoke his unpredictable temper. As their tumultuous relationship continued, Dona got an offer to star in the film Strike Me Pink, which would take her to sunny California. Saying goodbye to Amberg, she set off for Hollywood, not realizing it would be the last time she saw her infamous lover. The irony of the film's storyline was not lost on Dona, as it featured a fictional gang of mobsters similar to the harsh reality of Amberg's world. As Dona's Hollywood career took off, the silence about Amberg's fate grew heavier until a shocking phone call ended the illusion of his invulnerability. In 1936, the FBI questioned Dona about the murder of her former boyfriend, the notorious Louis Amberg. His body, found naked and bound in a burned-out car, reflected the violent life he led. Dona, with remarkable calm, claimed she didn't know Amberg's real identity or his criminal activities, describing him instead as Mr. Cohen, a perfect gentleman. She said she had no knowledge of his wealth, and that their time together was spent innocently riding horses in Central Park. While the details of Amberg's death remained a mystery, Dona's life took an unexpected turn when she met Billy Travilla, a costume designer, on the set of Hot Rhythm. Their connection was immediate, and after just 10 days of dating, the spontaneous couple decided to get married. On August 19, 1944, Dona and Billy Trava tied the knot in a small private ceremony. Their marriage came with its own set of challenges, as interracial marriages were illegal at that time, forcing Dona to continue living with a certain level of deception. It's possible that even Billy didn't fully know her true racial background, adding another layer of complexity to her life. As Dona's career at Paramount Pictures declined and financial troubles mounted, her husband's career was taking off. Billy's costume work for Errol Flynn's Adventures of Don Juan won him an Academy Award, a success that might have been hard for Dona to bear, especially since her own ambitions for critical praise were still unmet. The gap between their careers grew even wider when Billy's association with the famous Marilyn Monroe deepened. He became Monroe's favorite costume designer, working on films like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and The 7-Year Itch. Dona struggled with not only her husband's rising fame but also the overshadowing presence of Monroe, which seemed to eclipse her own career. Adding to the complications in their marriage, Billy had a peculiar hobby of collecting live animals. He amassed nearly 100 birds, including finches and cockatoos, which became an unwelcome part of their home life and put additional strain on their already delicate relationship. After 10 years of dealing with these issues, Dona and Billy decided to separate in 1956. However, for the sake of their daughter Nia, they chose to stay legally married and remain on good terms, showing their commitment to their family despite their personal challenges. 4 years later, Billy appeared on Groucho Marx's popular game show, You Bet Your Life, showcasing one of his designs worn by Dona. During the segment, Dona's unease was evident, and when asked about her film work, she showed signs of uncertainty and vulnerability, a stark contrast to the confident image she had cultivated throughout her career.
He is wearing
Well, it's a dress, isn't it?
a very expensive, very lavish dress made of 14-karat gold and
Despite the ups and downs of their relationship, Dona and Billy remained together until her death. The unraveling. At Paramount Pictures, the studio crafted a carefully designed backstory for the media. According to this official biography, Dona was said to have been born in Mexico City to parents who worked in restaurants. This story was meant to present her as a glamorous and exotic star to American audiences. However, the truth was quite different from the studio's version. In reality, Dona Drake was born Eunice Westmoreland on November 15, 1914, in Jacksonville, Florida. Her parents, Joseph and Novella, were not Mexican, but black. Records from the 1910 U.S. Census list her father as black and her mother as black as well. By 1920, the census recorded her family as mulatto, and by 1930, they were listed as Negro in Pennsylvania. This trend continued in the 1950 census, where her father and brother were recorded as white, and Dona, under her married name Dona Travilla, was listed as white in California. Despite these changing racial classifications, Dona's background was clearly African American, with some white ancestry from her father's side. Dona's ability to pass as Hispanic, a deception she maintained throughout her career, was supported by her appearance and her reportedly fluent Spanish. However, there was no evidence of Hispanic or Latin American heritage in her family. Her father was from Arkansas, and her mother was from Alabama. This carefully maintained illusion allowed Dona to navigate a Hollywood that was unwelcoming to black actresses at the time. Despite her striking presence on screen, Dona had a notable flaw that she herself admitted. She wasn't a great actress. Viewers often criticized her acting skills, and even Dona agreed. However, she believed that success in Hollywood depended more on having the right role and a good director than on acting talent. As she famously said, the secret of screen success is largely a matter of a good part and a good director. He's the guy who holds your fate in his hands. This practical viewpoint highlighted her belief in the importance of opportunity and guidance over raw talent. As Dona's career continued, health problems began to arise. She was diagnosed with a form of epilepsy, adding more difficulty to her life. Around this time, she also learned she was pregnant. For Dona, who had built her career on a carefully constructed identity, the idea of becoming a mother was filled with anxiety. As a black woman passing as Latina, she must have worried about what her child might reveal about her true background. In 1951, Dona gave birth to her daughter, Nia Travilla. Fortunately, there were no immediate concerns about Nia's skin color, which allowed Dona to keep her secret. She took a break to focus on motherhood before returning to acting. Her next notable project was the film Kansas City Confidential. Although her role was small, the film was successful and marked a high point in her later career. By the late 1960s, Dona's life began to fall apart. Work opportunities decreased, her health issues continued, and the stress of maintaining her secret identity took a heavy toll. The pressures became too overwhelming, leading Dona to make the painful decision to give up her parental rights to Nia, leaving her daughter with her husband, Billy Travilla. Dona's later years were marked by a gradual retreat from public life. Her health continued to worsen, and the burden of her hidden identity became increasingly difficult to bear. Despite her earlier success and the glamorous facade, the reality of her life was much more complex and challenging. I want to thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more updates. Till next time.